Good evening, Garden City. I'd like to call to order regular City Council meeting for Monday, August 24th, 2026 at 7 p.m. The first order of business is our opening ceremony, which consists of the national anthem, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for those service members who have given their lives for our country. Please stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
seated. Mr. Miller, if you take roll call, please.
Mayor Jacobs.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dold.
Here.
Councilmember Hughes.
Here.
Councilmember Witt.
Here.
Councilmember King.
Here.
Councilmember Dold.
Present.
Councilmember Karafotis.
Show Councilmember Karafotis absent and excused.
You do have a quorum with 6 members present.
Okay, thank you. Next item is the approval of the agenda.
Mayor,
Councilmember Witt.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Monday, August 24th council meeting agenda as presented.
Support. Support from Mayor Pro Tem Dold. Discussion from table? From the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Okay, we do have a recognition tonight. Mr. Miller would come up here. Unfortunately, Mr. Miller is going to retire from the city here. And as you know, he's done a lot for the community. He is community development director. He was city clerk. He's DDA director, grant writer, a man of many, many hats. And we greatly appreciate it and will greatly miss you. And we have a plaque, and I'll read the plaque. And Matthew Miller, Community Development Director from January 22nd, 2019 to September 1st, 2026. Thank you for your dedicated service and commitment to the City of Garden City and the greater Wayne County community. Throughout your tenure as City Clerk and Community Development Director, your professionalism, enthusiasm, and dedication to public service have made a lasting impact on our organization and the residents we serve. Your exceptional attention to detail, organizational skills, and commitment to excellence has set a high standard and contributed greatly to the efficient and professional operation of the city. Your knowledge, leadership, and collaborative approach have strengthened our community and reflect the very best of public service. The City Council of Garden City extends its sincere appreciation for your many contributions to our community and wishes you happiness and success in your retirement. Congratulations, sir. Thank you.
You're giving me the microphone? You know,
There is a time to start.
I know certainly from clock, so I can't do so. Well, first of all, thank you, Mayor and Council, for this plaque and recognition of my retirement. This kind of concludes 32 years of working for a local municipality, beginning back in 1993, really. And I've always believed that working at the local level is where all the changes are made to make our communities better. And of course, all of my time here at Garden City I've enjoyed. And in many of my other communities, I always felt that, and every decision I made, I always thought that what would I do if I lived next to that, or what if I had this affect me? And I always felt that that was a good way to approach public service and giving back to the community to make sure that we have a nice place to live, work, and do business. So thank you again.
Get a group picture here.
Okay.
Okay, next we do have our state representative, Dylan Wagella. Rep.
Hi, it's good to be back here at council. It's been a couple months, so I'm going to try to, continue to keep coming here. First off, I just also want to extend my gratitude to, Matt Miller here. And I think you mentioned that you started at the local level in 1993. That's the year that I was born. So I think that shows you just how long you've dedicated yourself to this. And I think that that's really special. So thank you for that. And anything you ever need from me moving forward, please keep me in the loop.
All right, thank you.
So I wanted to give a couple of updates. First, I've kind of been reflecting. It's been 3.5 years or so since I've been in this role. I just wanted to report back to you. I still have 100% attendance record in Lansing, and I'm committed to showing up every day. And for those people who maybe don't understand what we do on a day-to-day basis, yes, we vote on things. There's the that like hyper political side of this job, but there's probably the more important side, which is when someone calls your office for help navigating the state's systems, you're there to help them. And I'm really grateful for my staff in Lansing and everything I've been able to learn in that space. I feel like we have a really strong constituent service program, and we have been doing the best we can to hold Treasury accountable. So if there's anyone out there still having issues with their tax returns, I think we have something like 37 open cases in the district. They can reach our office, or if you have any other struggles with constituent services, our email is Dylan Wagella, DYLAN WEGELA @house.mi.gov, and our phone number is 517-373-3818. So first time I've been back here since our budget that passed in early July. So I want to kind of talk about that a little bit. This is the fourth budget that I have been a part of that process, and I wish I could come here and tell you that the process is getting better, but that's just simply not true. This year, the budget process went from 10 a.m. To 8:30 a.m. in the morning, almost 24-hour period. And I think we took the budget vote at about, somewhere in that early morning. I only had, again, an hour or so to read 1,000 pages of budget, and then 3 to 4 hours to read a 40-page summary of the budget. I ended up voting no on this year's budget as well for a couple of reasons I'll outline here. So if we're keeping score, I voted yes for 2 budgets and no for the last 2. One of the things we're starting to see is that years and years of doing tax breaks for corporations is starting to catch up to the Michigan revenue and the Michigan budget. As you all know, I think I kind of don't shut up about this, so, but we, in my office, I've voted against now something like $6 billion in corporate tax breaks, in business tax breaks. We've seen those $6 billion happen in the 3.5 years I've been in office. So what that's starting to do is it's shrinking the pool of revenue we have to work with, which is causing the legislature to make really tough decisions surrounding the budget. And you are seeing that here at the local level. As you might be aware, in this year's budget, statutory revenue sharing was frozen. So what that means for you is you're getting the same dollars from the state through statutory revenue sharing. They're statutory and constitutional. Constitutional actually went down. So if you adjust for inflation, cities are getting less money this year than last year. I find that completely unacceptable. When we have the budget that we have up in Lansing, we should be giving you more resources, not less. So that factored into my decision. One of the other things we're starting to see is more and more money shifted from the school aid fund. So in the budget, you have generally 2 big pots of money. You have the general fund, and then you have the school aid fund. Traditionally, around 2010, this started to change. The school aid fund was used for K-12 public schools. More and more, we are seeing Lansing create different shell games to use more of that money to backfill some of the cuts happening in the general fund. Last year, when I came to you, it was a record $1.3 billion they shifted from school aid over to the general fund. This last year's budget was $1.8 billion. The way that they do this is they are starting to fund higher education and community colleges more with K-12 dollars. And it's really a shame. As you all know, I was a former teacher. Universities and experts are saying that we need about $4.5 billion more a year in public schools to fully fund them so that teachers are paid appropriately, class sizes are where they need to be. You have paraprofessionals and all of these other things. And the reality is if we weren't redirecting some of that money, we have about half of that, or a little less than 40% or so of that right now that we could be putting into our public schools if Lansing simply made that choice. On that as well, we are also seeing budget constraints from what's happening federally through the big beautiful bill, with quotations from me here. But what we're seeing with that is having to spend more money on Medicaid. So it's going to get worse. Over the next 10 years, when I was talking to House Fiscal Agency, we can expect essentially to have if we want to backfill to what we have now, $2.6 billion from the big beautiful bill. You might see some of my colleagues saying that has already arrived. It has kind of. We had to spend about an additional $100 million this year for work requirements related to Medicaid to make sure that people could continue to keep their Medicaid. That being said, unless we find new revenue, I don't think things are going to get better, is what I'm trying to articulate here. Additionally, you might be a little confused if you're looking at budget numbers because they did some really weird things with the reporting. This year's budget had about $86 billion in it, including state and federal. The way that they wrote the budget made it so that it appeared, and this sounds so silly because it is, that it was a $75 billion or so budget. One of the things that the House Republicans wanted to do was essentially make the budget appear to be smaller than it was, so that because we're still getting those federal dollars and we can still use them, we are just not reporting on them now. Now, I think there's a lot of reasons that that's a bad idea to do it that way. One, the budget is already a very complicated thing for regular working class people to be able to follow and understand, and I think this just makes it seem, that we made big cuts when we didn't necessarily. I mean, there were still some cuts, as I mentioned, to schools, but my point is we didn't make $10 billion of money just go away. So now if the public believes that we did and we still get the same services, I think that complicates how people understand how their tax dollars are being used. There's been some articles written about this that could maybe articulate better than I did here in 60 seconds, so I encourage you all to take a look at that. Additionally, Additionally, with the budget, there were a whole range of bills that were negotiated to pass along with the budget. As you know, power is split right now. Republicans are in control of the House, Democrats have the Senate and the governorship. I'm going to highlight just two of those, but I encourage people to look into it more. One of them I think is actually really good. One would ban lawmakers from lobbying for 2 years after they're out of office. It's something that I was proud to vote for and have been supportive of since I got into office, because I think it's a clear conflict of interest that so many lawmakers go on to become lobbyists after being in office. And then the other one is one I just want to, bring up because I think it's going to make this revenue problem even worse. It was a doubling of the Brownsfield tax credit program in Michigan, which we've seen double twice now that I've been in office. So essentially, and changed quite a bit. Essentially now that program has been expanded by about $2 billion. So I expect that to decrease revenues as time goes on as well. And the reason that that was pushed for and passed in this budget was so that billionaire, Michigan's most richest person, Dan Gilbert, could remodel the Renaissance Center in Detroit. That was the whole reason that was pushed for. So you'll probably see the Renaissance Center get redeveloped with public dollars. And I want to bring this up because you might remember when the Hudson Building was built in Detroit, they used Brownsfield tax credit dollars to help build that building, which was supposed to bring all these new jobs to Detroit. But what we saw happen was GM moved into that building, which then left the Renaissance Center open, and now they have been saying, well, this building's empty, we need to do something with it. But this same program they're using to redevelop it was part of the reason that it became empty in the first place. And I think I would argue all at the benefit of Detroit's billionaires and corporations. Anyway, that's my end on the budget, but I got a couple other things I want to get to briefly. Sorry, there's a lot here, so I appreciate you giving me some time to talk about this. I'd say the flagship thing my office have been working on since I got elected has been bills that would ban corporations from donating in elections, as you've probably heard me talk about quite often. We were unable to get that legislation even a hearing under Democratic control and under split power. So a group called Michiganders for Money Out of Politics took the legislation that we worked on with them and ran a ballot initiative. They collected over 600,000 signatures. It just passed the Board of Canvassers and held up in court and will be on the November ballot for people to vote on in November, unless what I think happens this week might happen. So pay attention because, and I'll explain what this is, and again, this is a little complicated as well, but I think it's important to talk about. So when signatures are gathered for a ballot initiative, the legislature has the ability to adopt that before it goes to the ballot, meaning that it becomes law instantly. And you might be thinking, well, you've been trying to make this law. Why would it be a bad thing to adopt it now? And the reason that it would be a problem to adopt it before it goes to the ballot is because most likely it's looks like it's going to pass on the ballot. And when something passes on the ballot, it is protected by 3/4 vote, meaning that it cannot be changed unless 3/4 of legislators want to change it. If the legislature adopts this bill, it'll be able to be changed with simple majority, making it easier to change the law that would ban corporations from donating in our elections. So if it does come up for adoption this week, I will be voting no on it. And I wanted to explain that to you before that happened so that you're not thinking, well, why did our rep vote against banning corporate money? It's because if the voters get to vote on it and put this in the law, it'll be protected for the long term, is why I want to see it go to the ballot. Another thing I want to bring to attention is with the work on oversight. So this year, this session, I've been able to sit on the oversight committee. We've done hearings on data centers and corporate handouts. I've been really proud of that work, working with my colleague, Steve Cara, who is a Republican and the chair of that committee. But I've also been able to do some oversight on our corrections facilities. I got to go in the spring. I went through Women's Huron Valley, which is Michigan's only women's prison, and I spent about 4 hours there. And there's a whole range of things I think we need to fix there. We need to do mold remediation. The conditions there are not where they should be, and we definitely need to address that. But I want to share an oversight win that I had in my office with you. I'm trying to get it better at sharing these positive things that we do have happen. So as I'm going through the prison, I noticed, they record audio and video in every room, which is actually interesting because they don't record audio in the men's prisons, just the women's prisons. And I went and talked to the therapists at the prison, and you might know my wife's a therapist, and I noticed they were audio and video recording therapy sessions. And that was a big red flag to me, just knowing the standard practices for therapy. So I brought this up to the warden, and I brought this up to the Michigan Department of Corrections. And at my suggestion, they actually changed the policy to where they're not audio recording those sessions anymore, which I think will go a long way in allowing people who are incarcerated to actually practice mental health in a way that makes sense. And I think, it's a small little victory, but I think it's just something I wanted to celebrate tonight because, I think if we have people that are going through mental health crises, being able to speak to somebody and know that there's some, there's some privacy there is really important for people to actually speaking the truth. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to the community and to everyone here. It's really an honor to serve in this role. And if you ever need anything from me or have any questions, I'm always here and available. I try to keep that as concise as I could.
Not bad, not bad. Thank you for the update, Council. Any questions for State Rep? No questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, Dylan. Okay, we have no presentations, no community events, no petitions, communications, no public hearings. Item 11 is our consent agenda.
Mayor,
Councilmember Witt.
I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda items A 1 through 5 as presented.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Hughes. Discussion from the table? From the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Action items. Item 1 is zoning ordinance amendment on the light industrial zoning district. And I'll call our planning coordinator, Mr. Mario Ortega from McKenna.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Before you tonight is an issue regarding permitted uses in the M1 district. So currently, publicly owned recreation facilities, so city parks, are permitted by right in the R1, R2, and R3 districts. And then indoor private recreation facilities, so those not operated by a government entity or so a private organization, those are permitted after special land use approval in the C2. And then indoor and outdoor private recreation facilities are permitted after special land use approval in the C3. So recreation facilities are basically those that have various courts or lanes or alleys, bowling alleys and that sort of larger organized play facilities, and they may or may not have seats for the spectators. And so those facilities, sometimes they're typically need larger buildings, sometimes they need higher roofs, and so we've had people interested in establishing them in the city, some successfully in buildings that were recently, in the past, were used for these uses, but then they did not have an opportunity anywhere else in the city. However, looking at the opportunities in the city, these buildings, more often than not, can be found in our industrial district. And from my practices in other communities do allow these type of uses in their industrial districts. Even the communities adjacent to the city actually allow them. So the Planning Commission discussed this issue. They noted also that the benefit of allowing these uses in industrial would give property owners the opportunity to lease their buildings, more options for them. So the Planning Commission developed an amendment which would allow indoor-only recreational uses that do not have seats for spectators as a permitted use in the M1, and then they would also allow indoor recreation uses with seats or bleachers in the M1 after special land use approval, mainly ensuring that the site and the facility would be capable of handling the parking associated with the type of permitted spectators proposed. So the Planning Commission held a public hearing. They had no comments from the public, and at that meeting, they did make a recommendation, they did make a motion that would recommend that City Council approve this proposed amendment.
Thank you. So at this time, motion is in order.
Mayor,
Councilmember King,
I move to approve the proposed zoning ordinance amendment to section 154.316 to allow indoor recreation uses in the M1 Light Industrial Zoning District.
support. Support from Mayor Pro Tem Dole. Discussion from the table.
Mayor?
Councilmember King.
No, I just want to say, I think it's a great idea. It gives more options, as you mentioned, for leasing opportunities or a business owner to use the industrial building for indoor recreation. And what I've seen recently, it seems like there is an increased need for more indoor recreation, especially with our harsh winters. Nobody's doing that outside.
Further comments? From the public? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Okay, item 2 is another zoning ordinance amendment, and this is on mural regulations. Mr. Ortega.
So currently, the zoning ordinance does not have any sign regulations that actually define or regulate murals. Now, murals, while seeming a positive aspect, there can be some, well, the fact is there's some judicial case law that regarding murals that can make this a very complex issue with regards to First Amendment rights. However, the Planning Commission has navigated the restrictions created by the Supreme Court rulings regarding the content, but also have developed an approach they feel will allow this artistic installation both complies with review requirements and also allows business owners the opportunity to add a message component as well. So the Planning Commission did hold a public hearing. There were no comments from the public at that time, and they have made a motion that recommends City Council approve the proposed regulations of murals.
Okay, motion is in order.
Mayor?
Councilmember Hughes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposed zoning ordinance amendment to section 154.602 and 154.615 to create regulations to allow murals.
Support.
Or from Councilmember Witt. Discussion from the table.
Mayor,
Councilmember Dole.
on the first page, Mr. Ortega, it mentions the restrictions created by the Supreme Court, and it says that there was a ruling that the content of the image cannot be reviewed. Can you explain that?
Yes, so there's actually a pretty famous ruling by the Supreme Court from several years ago. It basically involved content-neutral regulations, meaning there is a Supreme Court case of Reed versus Gilbert, which examined an issue where the litigant felt like they should not be utilizing, they should not have a fact of reading what the content is to regulate where it can go. The long and short of it is that now regulations for signs can regulate the time, place, and manner in which signs are located and how big they are and that sort of characteristic. However, they're not, you're not allowed when you provide a permit for them to actually read the content, to regulate the content, to restrict that content from a zoning aspect of it. There was some further case law and others which now open the door a little to indicating that some locations can be, regulations can apply if for the location. It's mainly relating to billboards. But in the end, any new regulation of signage needs to ensure that it doesn't regulate the content. So the way we've navigated this is, and especially when it comes to murals, you know, they want to be like more of an artistic expression of some type of, whether it's graphic display or some image. And so while we can't regulate necessarily them from a zoning standpoint, what the ordinance does say is that it specifies their location. They would be located on side or rear walls, and they regulate the size. It's a maximum of 60% of a wall or 500 square foot, and then they can't have any internal lighting. And then we do allow what we're defining as messaging units. So basically, the property owner can have some type of characters letters or numbers that make up less than a maximum of 10% of the signage. We won't read what that verbiage says, but it minimizes the area. But in addition to that, we do have a stipulation in here which does say these murals shall comply with the city's current ordinance prohibiting indecency or obscenity. So it's an attempt to utilize the police powers of the city to regulate, to ensure there isn't any type of indecency or obscenity.
So was it our planning commission or these regulations that stipulated the size?
They developed it over time. They went back and forth several times with how big they should or shouldn't be, and so they came up with these particular numbers.
The planning commission did?
Yes. Some were larger at first. They talked about making them smaller. They feel this is a pretty decent first attempt. They don't want to necessarily open it up to a larger area and then have a time try and, for lack of a better word, put the horse back in the barn to try and not allow for the larger ones.
One more question. On the permitted zoning districts, so C1, 2, 3, all the other ones other than the residential are permitted with permit. R1, 2, and 3 says regulated with permit on non-residential structures in the district. So how is that different than permitted with permit?
Well, they're all required permits. It's just that within the residential, things like any church or school could have them in the R1 district. That's what that's intended to allow.
So basically, it's the same thing regardless of what zoning district they're in. They just have to get
Correct.
the permit. Okay, all right. It read kind of funny to me, so, all right, that's all I had.
Thank you. Further comments from the table? Councilmember Hughes.
I did watch the Planning Commission meeting on this, and they gave a lot of thought to this. I could tell they really went back and forth quite a bit to come up with a great solution for us. So I know that this is something that just has to be done. It's not something that we were seeking to do, but it's something that we should do compliance and keep compliant with murals and things. So I thank you for bringing that forward.
Thank you. Further comments from the table?
I have one more, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Councilmember Dole.
So I like this whole thing. I wish that we had been doing murals for a while, but I am having a big issue with the size. Because if you look at some of these buildings, like the Salvation Army building or the old Moose building, they're very large buildings. And if you're saying, 60%, you're going to slap this little square mural on there, and aesthetically, I don't think it's going to look right. You go into Allen Park just redid their mural ordinance, if you want to call it. But they've got, the whole sides of the building, which is usually what you see when you see a mural. It's the whole side of the building, which kind of completes it. I think it's going to look kind of odd if it's only a little bit more than half of the size.
Okay, thank you. Further comments? Okay.
Mayor,
Councilmember King.
I think I was reading here is if they have an issue with the size, they can go in front of the ZBA, like if they have a particular image that's...
Yes, that's correct. And I do believe the way it's worded would be that...
Would comply with the sign portion of the...
Correct. Yes. So with regards to the ZBA, their regulation, their powers involve a very high standard for the zoning ordinance components, so dimensional standards and that sort of thing. However, we have a separate set of parameters that someone needs to meet in order to receive a variance for signage. And it is more about, actually, one of the characteristics in that consideration is the architectural proportions with regards of the signage to the building. For example, the CVS, what used to be the CVS building right at Ford and Brant, I think, yes, the southwest corner of Ford and Brant that back in the day when CVS was approved, they did approach the ZBA and they did receive approval, in addition to the next operator, the Happy Homes, to receive a variance that allows larger signage, because that's just a big building, it's a big wall. So they did meet the criteria and they did it. The other criteria is to make sure that signs don't distract from drivers through their like flashing or messaging, that also signs are don't block other signage, like if somebody wanted to have a bigger pole sign. And so there's a lesser standard, but it is an option that someone could do if they feel the need to make their first attempt being a sign that's a proportionally accurate, proportionally more aesthetically pleasing to the size of the building, like you said, because that's usually the reason they go that route. I think the Planning Commission was just, once again, concerned that let's have the first attempts be in this particular size, and then if we do find success, then open it up more and allow more freedom.
Yep.
Further comments from the table? From the public? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Ortega. Item 3 is a professional service agreement with Plant Moran. Our city treasurer, Ms. Shannon Shepard.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. What you have in front of you tonight is a professional services agreement with Plant Moran Government Accounting Professionals, otherwise known as PM-GAP. This is basically just a continuation of the existing relationship we have with them for various accounting services. The purpose of the agreement is just to allow us to engage them on an as-needed basis. The level of assistance will vary from year to year, and so this kind of gives us the flexibility to just reach out whenever we need them for, various things. So I'm just requesting, sorry.
Motion is in order, and
sorry.
then we can ask questions.
Mayor?
Councilmember King.
I move to approve the attached professional service agreement and engagement letter with Plant Moran to provide GAP accounting services.
Support. Or for Mayor Pro Tem Dole. Discussion from the table.
Mayor?
Councilmember King.
As you mentioned, I know we did use them last year for different reasons than potentially this year. Do we have an idea, I don't know, how much we spent last year and how much you're thinking we'll spend this year?
So we really won't know until the need arises, right? So I had looked a couple of years ago when there was a vacancy in the Treasury Department. The city spent like upwards of $130,000. The year prior to that, it was like $60,000. So for this particular one, I didn't include a not to exceed amount because we still have to operate within the budget that council had already set for us. So the agreement allows us to engage their services, but it doesn't authorize any additional spending.
Thank you.
Further comments from the table?
Mayor,
Councilmember Dole.
the agreement's just for 1 year?
I don't know that it says that.
Yeah, I can't find a time frame in here.
I don't think, yeah, I think it's just, like I said, it's just a professional services agreement to engage their services on an as-needed basis. Because there's no dollar amount attached to it, there isn't a time frame either.
So if we approve this tonight, we could be approving this for the next 10 years?
I believe typically they do, I believe we did one last year too. I just don't think it has a date parameter in the agreement.
Can we change?
I would be open to amend the motion to end at the end of this fiscal year, or
Next fiscal
Right.
year, or whatever the date should be.
Yeah, and ending June 30th, 2027.
I don't like to approve something that's open-ended like
Sure.
that.
No, I would agree. I'd like to amend the motion to end at the end of this fiscal year, June 30th, 2027.
Mayor Pro Tem, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. You got that, Mr. Miller? Okay, further comments from the table?
And everything else, I wasn't done, I'm sorry, Mayor.
Okay, sorry about that.
So under the audit preparation, these things, the capital assets, the long-term debt, all this stuff, this is all the same things that they've done in the past, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. I'm good, thank you.
Okay, further comments from the table? From the public? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Okay, item 4 is a lot split on Windsor. Mr. Miller.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This is a lot split before you on Windsor, just a little west of Merriman. And they've made a request to split the parcel into 2 parcels, which would be 60 by 135 each at that location. As I mentioned before, building houses is always a little difficult in Garden City because we don't have lots ready to build in. And so a person did find an existing parcel and then is requested to make the split to construct 2 homes at this location. So we're looking forward to a couple more houses and families moving into the city.
Mayor,
Councilmember Dole.
I'd like to motion to review and approve lot split vacant Windsor, parcel number 35-001-01-3415-000.
Support.
Or from Councilmember Hughes. Discussion from the table.
Mayor?
Councilmember King.
Now, looking at the plotted land in that area, that is a better fit for that area. Many of the lots are only 60 foot wide.
Further comments from the table? From the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Item 5 is the Catherine Eagle Grant with Catherine Street Lead Service and Water Main Replacement Project.
Yes.
Mr. Cruz, who is from Manick & Smith Group. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good to be back. The item you have before you is the project plan we've submitted to Eagle so that Garden City can obtain additional grant funding for lead water service replacement and water main replacement. And we've had this stretch of Catherine identified with Brad Oman, Steve Mahalik, Tim and Matt for a long period of time. We keep applying for these grants and we never get them. Other communities get them. Well, finally, we got this one. And this item is basically approving the project plan so that Eagle will give us the grant money and so we'll be eligible for disbursements.
Okay. Motion is in order.
Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Dole.
Motion to approve the project plan and proposal grant agreement with Eagle for the Catherine Street Lead Service and Water Main Replacement.
Support.
Or from Councilmember Witt. Discussion from table. From the public. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Cruz. The next one is professional services agreement with Manick & Smith Group. Mr. Miller, you want to explain it a little bit?
Good evening. As we just, you approved the agreement for Catherine Street, we've started to, again, work with Alan Cruz from Manick & Smith to work on engineering services. And part of that is to enter into a professional service agreement to handle our engineering services for Catherine, to begin the process, of course, to design and then also handle the construction bid documents and bidding this out so that we can get the work done, and also work with us to get grant compliance done and get everything turned in so we can get reimbursements prepared for the city.
Motion is in order.
Mayor.
Councilmember Witt.
I'd like to make a motion to approve a professional services agreement with Manick & Smith Group for engineering services for the Catherine Street Lead Service and Water Main Replacement Project.
Support.
Or from Mayor Pro Tem Dole. Discussion from table.
Mayor?
Councilmember King.
I noticed for this one is for $79,800, but if you look at the previous motion we just approved, and that for the grant, the Eagle grant was $60,000. Is the other $19,800 out of the water fund then?
We do have an additional grant for kind of the remainder of Catherine. And
Okay.
so we'll be taking that from there. I believe it's $695 and $500, correct. So we've got a little more money coming for Catherine to kind of complete this project. If you saw the 500 wouldn't complete the entire project, so we're going to use those additional funds to complete the Catherine project. Where we may end up having some extra left on Catherine, we're hoping we'll be able to move it to Ford Road for water main, kind of on the next professional service agreement coming forward. Sorry.
All right, thanks.
Further comments from the table?
So, Mayor, so the entire Catherine project is being funded by grants?
Yes.
Thank you.
Just to qualify, the current Eagle grant is covering that first set of it. Feel very positive about those entities' ability to get us water funds and grant with their own fees. It's not a guarantee, but we do believe that the remainder of the project will be funded by that, and then we'll see what we can do with the extra money. But anytime we can maximize, even if it is some water fund has to come out of it, anytime we can maximize our capital investment from our fund by just meeting a part of another project that's already nearly entirely grant funded, we're going to try and take advantage of that so we can knock those capital needs down on somebody else's budget.
Thank you. Further comments from the table? From the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Item 7 is a professional service agreement with Manick & Smith Group for Ford Road. Mr. Miller.
Very similar to Catherine, but on a larger scale. So we've got a professional service agreement with Manick & Smith to do the design for this and also handle the engineering requirements for the drinking water state revolving fund for the city. Part of this is, of course, if you, in the original request, I think we've got Ford Road really is about a $4.5 to $5 million investment, and so far we've got about $1 million in funding for that. So we're looking at beginning the process, but then also utilizing the engineering services to get it all designed and ready to go so that we can seek more funding to complete the project. And of course, Mr. Cruz's familiarity with that, he started actually the original process to prepare the plans and get everything going for the revolving fund for the city, and that's why we felt it was appropriate to continue with Mr. Cruz, even in his new company at Manick & Smith. So.
Thank you. Motion is in order.
Mayor?
Councilmember Dole.
Motion to approve a professional services agreement with Manick & Smith Engineers for engineering services for the Ford Road water main replacement project.
Support.
Support from Councilmember King. Discussion from the table.
Mayor?
Councilmember King.
Just to clarify, I mean, 270,000 is a decent amount of the $1 million that we have currently with the grant. But by having the full project design, the 8-inch and 12-inch on Ford Road, puts in a better position for future grants to finish off the project?
Correct. Just like the Eagle grant we just approved, they contacted us like, do you have projects ready now? And it's actually the fastest turnaround in any grant I've ever seen from the state. So I'm impressed, number one. It was hard for us to keep catching up, but we did because we didn't want to lose any of that funding. We believe that, yes, it will, and we're doing the design for a kind of a long-range plan so that those designs are good for about 8 to 10 years. So we're hoping that in that amount of time we'll be able to get additional funding and complete the entire 4.5 right now project, $4.5 million project now, because of course everything will cost more as we go along. But we're hoping the plans will be completed to today's standards. They'll last us 10 years.
All right, thank you.
Just to add to that, federal grants for Ford Road are a little more complicated. You've got MDOT approvals, local agency approvals, and there's environmental clearances with those type of grants. So there's a lot of heavy lifting, not just the design itself. And our strategy is let's get it designed, permitted, in one segment, and then you can break up bid packs and make them shovel-ready. So as you obtain more grant funding, we've got it permitted. There's no delay with Eagle now. Lots of times with Eagle, it's a crapshoot. You're in September and you're trying to get it built. Well, these are going to be ready. We're going to design it one shot, and like Matt has said, we can get extensions for up to 10 years. And then if Eagle decides to change a spec, we revise that portion of the spec, resubmit it, and gets approved very quickly. So it gives us the shovel-ready aspect without the delays, and it prevents us from doing piecemeal projects, which cost the city more money.
Thank you. Further comments from the table? From the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Cruz.
Thank you.
Good to see you again. Okay, we have no other business. Item 13 is public comment. You'll have 3 minutes. Not 13. 3 minutes to state your comment, and if we have an answer, we'll get back to you right away at the end of the meeting. If not, we'll get back to you shortly thereafter. Anybody wishing to speak? Go ahead, Ms. Peridor.
Hello, Mayor and Council. I'm going to read this. I'm here today as an active, longtime resident of Garden City. I would like to take the opportunity to thank everyone on the dais here this evening, as well as all of our city employees, for the hard work and dedication to our community. I did a little math recently and found out that the council people who devote 10 hours a week to council duties make about $5.54 an hour. The mayor makes about $7.69 an hour. I believe that each one of them decided to run to help and to make a positive difference. I do not believe any one of you ran to hurt or disrupt. Our city manager, clerk, department heads, and other employees work here knowing they might be able to make a little bit more money someplace else in a larger community, yet here they are. Do I always agree with what the mayor and council and city manager decide on? No. Do I think every employee we have is perfect? No. Do I think that each and every one of you makes decisions based on facts that I, the general public, may be unaware of? Yeah, I do. Do I think that we have some employees that go way above and beyond their job descriptions to help take care of us? Yes, I do. I would encourage more participation in our form of government, run for mayor or council, take a board or commission position, volunteer with a local nonprofit, get to know more about our city and those who help run it. Instead of armchair quarterbacking, get involved and make a positive difference. I just want to say Garden City is a fantastic community, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Sir? Please state your name.
Good evening. Matt Cooley of Florence Street. I've been here a long time, class of '89. I just want to make a couple observations and a couple statements. Some of it doesn't have to do with Garden City, but bear with me and I'll tie it together. I saw Westlands clearing some woods around Cherry Hill and Newburgh for a semi-truck parking, even though the residents, city council, and the mayor were against it. Apparently a judge ruled against everybody, which makes me wonder how much power you actually have if a judge can do that. Next, and I could be wrong on all this, so cut me off if I am, but I'd like to congratulate you. I heard you got a raise recently. I know not everybody is happy with you getting a 10% raise, but I'm not. I'm upset with the 6 people that decided to just give it away like it's no big deal, especially seeing the city is financially hurting. May I suggest next time ask for 25%. If you lose 25% of the 6 votes you got, that's 1.5 votes. You still get 4, still passes. I mean, make your money, buddy. Good for you. I got a 2% raise last year, none this year, but if I got 10%, I'd probably be able to water my grass more and start spending money again in this town. Something I stopped doing when the mayor said to start taking shorter showers. Last meeting, someone brought up the flock cameras. You said you get info to the people, but the vibe I got was that you're in favor of them. That tells me one of 2 things. Garden City either has a lot of crime, which makes me not want to be here, Or our politicians want us under surveillance, which makes me want to be here even less. I can protect my house from criminals. It's politicians I have an issue with. Now, last one, I know this was a PR stunt, but I saw the mayor of Dearborn walking around town with the ordinance crew writing tickets. It was good to see the mayor being involved in the community and aware of his problems. Last meeting, the Nemec family brought up a rat problem. Now, Livonia's got rats, we've got rats, Westland's got rats. There's rats absolutely everywhere. But you said it was the first you heard of it. That's either a lie, and you owe those people an apology, or you need to be more like the mayor of Dearborn and get out in your community.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Kelly. This is my first time doing this, so I'm not really too sure where to start, other than I was raised here. This is 25 years I've been here. I love Garden City. I love GCYA. I love everything that this city stands for. The way that this last guy just approached it isn't very nicely. I'm coming from a wife. I'm coming from a mom's standpoint. I am tired of seeing dead rats everywhere. My children, for instance, Nellie, is 6 years old. We got all new sidewalks so then we can make this a walkable city, and I keep on finding dead rats. I don't know that this guy, you guys aren't handing out poison. You guys aren't doing stuff like that, and I appreciate that. What I want to see is something along the lines of trapping these or trying to figure out just a solution. I have a 10-month-old baby, and I am going outside just to get some fresh air, and here she is playing with a dead rat. It's not safe. It makes me want to cry. I have animals at my house. There's hawks. There are so many animals that are affected by this. I've even had raccoons dead in my yard, in my front yard. I have posted on Facebook about this. I'm not the only one, obviously, that has seen this. I get frustrated because it's just like, if you guys go on the Facebook page, you will see that there's rats on rats on rats on rats. So I just came to take the first step, and I'm open to hearing anyone's options, whether we do a volunteer rat trap, just like we do like a watch thing at night. I don't know how to go about it, but I'd love to help. So if there's a way that you guys could kind of figure out something in the community, I'd love to help any way I can. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. What I would ask you is fill out a form with your address. A lot of times with rat problems, it's due to feeding squirrels, feeding deer, and that's not just you. Could be your neighbors, could be one of your neighbors with high grass. We can come out and look at it. That would be what I would recommend as our first step, is give Mr. Miller your address, and we'll see what we can find out there.
I do want to say, almost like 90% of my neighborhood, they all stay home. Almost all of their grasses are cut. I live on the beautiful street of Hennepin, and let me tell you, everyone is very prideful in our yard. Everyone picks up after their dogs when they're walking, so I don't want to blame neighbors to anybody that's watching.
I don't want to blame anybody either, but there might be something that we'll spot, so please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments from public? No further comments from the public? Mr. Gibbons.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just tonight, it's our last council meeting with Matt Miller. And, I've had the pleasure of working with Matt for a very long time, and he's the definition of a public servant. I think we all get into this job to make a difference in the places we serve, to do that thing. I became a cop because I wanted to make the community I serve better. I became a city manager because I want to make this city as good as I possibly can, given the talents I can bring. Matt, I watched a very talented person do that for this community. Our LED street lights are 50% replaced and will be 100% replaced in 2028 because they have. So the light on the streets at night are from Matt. This grant that Alan and he worked on, he so quickly adapted, and Matt takes on whatever comes to him and whatever is need to be done in Garden City, and he's done it time and time again. Here, a long-term problem with the water main, Matt jumps on it, He has it done before you could even say, hey, should we do that? Just nothing but impressed. He's had the impact you would want. 32 years. If you talk to anyone in Wayne, he was nothing but highly regarded and loved and well appreciated there. And the way he speaks about the communities he serves, you can feel the empathy and his concern for everyone. And he is a great person that when you're discussing a problem, brings the perspective of the community and the individuals he's serving to that conversation, which puts it in good perspective. Because this job can wear on you a little bit. Sometimes people get mad at you. Sometimes people get upset and they don't understand the details and the things behind the scenes they don't know. And it's easy for us to get caught up in that fact that they don't know that. Matt's always quick to remind, but hey, if you live next to that, but hey, they're legitimately upset because of this. And it always put a nice temper on the conversation. So he's just done such a fantastic job and handled everything he's done with such professionalism. He's left every place he's touched in our city better. And I just couldn't appreciate his time more. I only wish it would have continued to go. But hey, 32 years, it's understood. And we'll miss you tremendously. And I will call every so often to try and get you to come back. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you.
And, there's other things to comment on tonight, but I'm just going to leave it at that. That's the most important thing tonight is saying farewell to our good friend Matt. And thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, last comments.
Well, I already gave my comments before, and I don't want to elongate any other comments, but thank you for all these nice words, and I couldn't have thought of a better place to be than in Garden City. Right.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Dole.
I'd also like to thank Mr. Miller for his years of service and wish you happiness in your retirement. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hughes.
Thank you. I met Matt several years ago when he was working in the city of Wayne, and I knew back then he was one to really want. I could tell he was interested in beautifying the city of Wayne, and when he came here, I walked through the city hall one day, and there he was. I'm like, wait a minute, where did you come from? But I'm so glad that we acquired you in this trade-off, and I only have one thing to say. Don't go.
Hey,
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Witt.
Thank you, Mayor. As everyone else is going to say tonight, we all appreciate your time. I'm glad we were able to squeeze just a little bit extra out of it. Thank you for all you've done. It's been awesome working with you, and wish you the best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you. Councilmember King.
I guess following suit, congratulations, Matt, on your retirement, your final retirement.
Yes.
Even my short time on council, I've seen a lot of value you've added to the city and the projects you've worked on. A quick comment to the residents that make comments at the podium. Definitely appreciate it, even though if we don't address them in our comments, because often there's other research that has to be done, other city staff to be reached out to do further investigation. We do consider that information. We do reach out on an individual basis to the city manager, check on the progress, where we at on this. Don't think it's not being addressed just because we don't make a comment on it. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Dole.
First, I want to know, can I make a motion to not allow Matt to retire? Would that work?
I'll vote on it, too.
Oh, no.
I think I first had the pleasure of working with Matt when I was still with the DDA, so I've known you for a few years now, and yes, you will be very missed. So be prepared for lots of phone calls, and,
All right.
we'll keep you busy.
All right.
I do have a couple other things, though. The rats, again, there's been a lot of talk on Facebook about it, and everybody has rat problems. Somebody had mentioned that the city of Redford went out and was doing something about the rats. Well, what Redford did was they increased their blight ordinances. They started really going out and ticketing and everything. So I see that as a way that we are addressing it, because we have started blight court. People are getting more tickets. But there's so many things. Even when you allow your children out in the backyard and you let them eat lunch out there, and half of their sandwich hits the ground and it stays there, guess who comes and gets it that night? It's eating outside, it's storing firewood outside. The rats love to go in the firewood. You know, like Mayor Jacobs said, it's feeding the birds and the squirrels and not picking up the dog feces, things like that. It's just, it's got to be a citywide effort with everybody taking care of their property. And unfortunately, I think that the people that don't take care of their property and that are causing some of these issues are not complaining about the rats. They just don't care. So with the city, with our ordinance officers going out more, hopefully we'll start seeing some relief from that. I wanted to thank Representative Wagella for coming in and giving us an update. I want to thank Ms. Peridor for her kind words, because those are always nice to hear. We don't hear them too often. And last but not least, I wanted to offer condolences to the family of Betty Precob and also to the family of Martha Smith, who is Debbie Barson's mother. So that is all I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have a couple comments. As far as the flock, to answer to one resident, I said we would be putting together a report and bringing it up some information, and that we are still in the process of doing that. So probably within the next meeting or two, we will have more information on that. Whether we support it or not, we'll put out the information and go from there. The rat issue, apparently it's out there. Again, those that know me know I'm very rarely on social media as far as reading all the wonderful comments out there. But I will say this, the comment I made at the last meeting about not knowing rats was, I said, I did not know we had a rat problem. And I still don't believe we do have a rat problem. I believe we have rats in the city. And I believe we are trying to address it, as Councilman Dold said, with our ordinances and our blight court, and we are working at it. And again, it's going to be a group effort, and it's going to be something that's going to take a little time. And with construction going, that creates a problem for them. They move around, they go, and if there's any kind of food source, they're going to find it, and then they're going to stay there. So again, we are working on it, and to the young lady here, we'll come out and see if we can find an issue over there and see what we can do. And hopefully we can get rid of them. Mr. Gibbons, I'd like you to reach out. I know we've discussed it before. Reach out to our attorney. I believe there's an issue with Kratom or 7-OH, whatever you want to call it. It's in our drugstores, our gas stations. It's over the counter, and it's a bad drug. It's very addictive. Young adults, kids can get it without scripts, without anything. They walk into a gas station, buy it right off the counter. I'd like to talk to our attorney and see if there's a way. I did see some other communities have figured out a way to ban them. So I'd like to get that attorney to look at something for us. It's Kratom slash 7-OH, and it's in I don't know if it's pop or some energy drinks, but it's a drug. And the chief might have more information on it, but it's just a bad addictive drug for children and adults, because you don't need a prescription to get it. It's over the counter. Anybody can get it. And the 7-OH is a derivative of it, which is even more addictive and worse for you. I think it's comparable to heroin, but not quite to that level. But the federal government hasn't completely outlawed it yet. So I'd like to look at that. And then a couple good things. I know a little dog that got loose over on, by Rotary Park, little 4-pound thing, managed to get its little feet down to Rotary, about 4 blocks away, and a young man, Elijah, was kind enough to catch him, which is not easy to do, and called the number on the tag and sat there with the dog until someone went and picked him up. So I won't say who she was, but my wife is very appreciative to Elijah. Thank you. Almost as happy as I am because I had to hear about it. Also, on another good note, we had a young man, Patrick Howard, that had a broken down vehicle in front of his house, or his vehicle broke down.
Parker.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Parker Howard, right?
Said Patrick.
Oh, Parker Howard, sorry about that. Had a vehicle, his vehicle broke down. He's a young man, not a lot of money. He was going to work on it himself, and he started to, had a neighbor or somebody by that wanted to report him for working on trying to get his vehicle fixed. And fortunately, another resident, Matt Hinkle, was kind enough to stop by, give him a hand, and help the youngster, or he's not really that young, but Mr. Howard back on the road. And you know, it's a good story, and unfortunately we hear a lot of the negative stuff. So I wanted to point out at least those 2 stories of Garden City residents that help each other out and take care of each other, and without doing a lot of fanfare and all that social media stuff. But so I wanted to thank them. And that, Mr. Miller, I've already said thank you and good luck in the future. I've been around you a long time. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I want to thank you.
All right, thank you.
No further business. We will go into...
Can I say one thing?
Councilmember?
I'm sorry, I'd written it down, but I forgot. The gentleman that came up to the stand, I believe he said his name was Matt Cooley. I just wanted to make sure that he had my email address. It's doldk@gardencitymi.org. And if you want to get a hold of me, I am more than happy anytime to explain to you why I vote yes or no on anything up here. It's not a secret, so get a hold of me and we can talk.
Okay, thank you. Okay, no further business. I will take a motion to go into closed session.
Mayor.
Councilmember Witt.
The time is now 8:12 p.m. I would like to make a motion to go into closed session to consider periodic personnel review, annual city manager performance review of Tim Gibbons as permitted in accordance with 15.286 Section 8(1)A of the Open Meetings Act, Act 267 of 1976.
Support.
Or for Mayor Pro Tem Dold. Mr. Miller, if you take roll, please.
Yes, Councilmember Witt.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Dold.
Aye.
Councilmember Dold.
Aye.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Councilmember Hughes.
Aye.
Mayor Jacobs.
Aye. With that, we will adjourn to closed session. We will return. Okay, at this time, I'll take a motion to go back into session.
Mayor,
Councilmember Witt.
the time is now 8:55 PM. I'd like to make a motion to return to open session.
Support.
Support from Councilmember Hughes. Mr. Miller, if you take roll.
Councilmember Witt.
Aye.
Councilmember Hughes.
Aye.
Councilmember Dold.
Aye.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Dold.
Aye.
Mayor Jacobs.
Aye. We are now in session. No further business. This meeting is adjourned.